Lily and the Garden of Giggles. Lily, Max and Pippin enter a magical garden full of laughter, joy and unexpected wonders. One day they discover a hidden entrance to the Garden of Giggles, a place where flowers tell jokes, animals play games, and laughter is the key to unlocking endless fun. But when the giggles start to disappear and the garden falls quiet, the trio must team up with a very funny gnome named Chuckleberry to save the garden. Join them on an unforgettable adventure filled with riddles, laughter, and the power of joy. This fun-filled bedtime story will leave young listeners smiling as they drift into a world of magical laughter. It was a bright, sunny afternoon, and Lily, Max, and Pippin were playing by the edge of the enchanted forest. The day was filled with light-hearted fun as they chased butterflies and played hide-and-seek. Suddenly, Pippin let out a series of excited squeaks, his tiny nose twitching as he pointed toward a patch of brightly coloured flowers hidden behind a large bush. "What's that, Pippin?" Lily asked, curious. She carefully moved the bush aside, and Max gasped in surprise. Behind the bush was a small wooden door, painted in bright colours, with a sign that read, "Welcome to the Garden of Giggles." "A Garden of Giggles? That sounds amazing," Max said, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Lily nodded eagerly. "Let's check it out!" Pippin bounced up and down in agreement, and the trio pushed open the colourful door. The moment they stepped through, they were greeted with the happiest sight they had ever seen. A magical garden filled with flowers of all colours, each one smiling and giggling. There were animals playing games, butterflies dancing, and tiny pixies flying around, sprinkling sparkling dust that made everything shimmer. In the centre of the garden was a fountain made of rainbow-coloured candy, bubbling with sweet-smelling water. Around the fountain, animals and flowers were gathered, telling jokes and laughing until their sides hurt. "This place is amazing," Lily said, her eyes wide with wonder. Max nodded. "It's like a dream come true." Just then, a small gnome with a bright red hat and a curly beard popped out from behind a flower bush. He had a big grin on his face and was juggling 3 shiny apples. "Well, well, well, visitors! Welcome to the Garden of Giggles. I'm Chuckleberry, the garden's official giggle keeper," he announced, bowing dramatically. Pippin squeaked in delight, and Lily and Max clapped. "It's so nice to meet you, Chuckleberry," Lily said. "This place is wonderful." Chuckleberry smiled even wider. "Ah, yes, the Garden of Giggles is a place where laughter never ends. But—" His smile faltered slightly, and he looked down at his juggling apples. "There is a bit of a problem, I'm afraid. The giggles have started to fade, and if we don't do something, the garden will lose its magic." Lily frowned, her heart sinking. "Why are the giggles fading?" Chuckleberry sighed, putting down the apples. "The giggle bloom, the flower that brings joy to the entire garden, is losing its laughter. It seems that someone has stolen its tickle petal. Without it, the giggle bloom can't laugh, and the whole garden is losing its joy." Max looked determined. "We have to help get it back. Where do we start?" Chuckleberry's eyes twinkled. "That's the spirit! The tickle petal is hidden somewhere in the giggle maze, but it's guarded by the giggle gremlins, tricky little creatures who love riddles and games. We'll need to make them laugh to get it back." Lily smiled. "We can do that. We love riddles." Chuckleberry led them to the giggle maze, a twisting, turning maze made entirely of tall, colourful hedges. As they entered, they could hear giggles echoing from within, and tiny eyes peeked out from the leaves, watching them curiously. The first challenge came quickly. A giggle gremlin popped out from behind a hedge, blocking their path. It had a mischievous grin and held up a riddle written on a shiny card. "To pass, you must solve my riddle," the gremlin said, wiggling its eyebrows playfully. The riddle read, "I have keys but open no doors. I have space but no room. You can enter but not go outside. What am I?" Max thought for a moment, then smiled. "A keyboard." The gremlin let out a high-pitched giggle and stepped aside, clapping its hands. "Correct! You may pass." They continued through the maze, encountering more giggle gremlins along the way, each with a riddle or a game. One gremlin made them do a silly dance, while another asked them to tell their funniest joke. Pippin even did a little hedgehog jig that had everyone, including the gremlins, laughing uncontrollably. Finally, they reached the center of the maze, where the giggle bloom stood. It was a large, beautiful flower with colorful petals, but it looked sad and its petals drooped. "We need to make it laugh," Chuckleberry said. "The tickle petal is hidden in that chest over there, but it will only open if we all share our biggest giggle." Lily, Max, Pippin, and Chuckleberry gathered around the chest. Max started by telling a funny story about the time he accidentally wore his socks on his hands instead of his feet, and Lily added a joke about a cow that loved to moo at the moon. Chuckleberry performed a funny dance, twirling and spinning, while Pippin did his best hedgehog somersault. The chest began to shake, and then, with a burst of glitter, it opened, revealing the tickle petal, a bright, fluffy petal that seemed to shimmer with joy. Lily carefully took the tickle petal and placed it back on the giggle bloom. The moment she did, the flower began to giggle, softly at first, then louder and louder. The sound was contagious, and soon everyone was laughing. Lily, Max, Pippin, Chuckleberry, and even the giggle gremlins. The garden transformed before their eyes. The flowers bloomed brightly, the animals danced, and the fountain bubbled with even more colorful water. The Garden of Giggles was filled with joy once more. Chuckleberry wiped a happy tear from his eye. "You did it! You saved the Garden of Giggles! Thank you, friends!" Lily smiled, her heart filled with warmth. "It was our pleasure. There's nothing better than making people laugh." Max nodded. "Especially when it means saving such a magical place." Pippin squeaked in agreement, doing a little happy dance. Chuckleberry handed them each a small, glowing giggleberry. "Take this with you," he said. "Whenever you're feeling down, just give it a little squeeze, and it'll remind you of the laughter we shared today." Lily took the giggleberry, feeling its warmth in her hand. "Thank you, Chuckleberry. We'll never forget this place." The gnome smiled. "And we won't forget you. The Garden of Giggles will always be here, waiting for you whenever you need a little laughter." With that, Chuckleberry led them back to the wooden door. As they stepped through, they found themselves back at the edge of the enchanted forest, the door closing gently behind them and disappearing into the bushes. Max looked at Lily, his eyes shining. That was the best adventure yet. Lily nodded, smiling. It really was. Laughter truly is the best magic. Pippin squeaked in agreement, and they all laughed together, the sound carrying through the trees and filling the air with joy. That night, as Lily lay in her bed, she held the giggleberry close, feeling its gentle warmth. She knew that no matter what, the magic of the Garden of Giggles would always be with them, bringing joy and laughter whenever they needed it most. And as she drifted off to sleep, her dreams were filled with colorful flowers, funny gnomes, and endless giggles. a reminder that true magic lies in the joy we share with others.